gonna start.
In a town where the grass is green, a place where the high vibes beam. We talk about the plants we grow at Ames High Cannabis Show. Tune in, hear the stories told about the secrets of the rolling gold. With interviews and lessons sweet, we educate on nature's tree. Grow it tall, grow it right. Feel the love in every life. Ames High will guide you through the path to the green, so true.
Yo, what's up, everyone? That was a sick-ass intro, bro. I hope y'all like that. We've been working on that in the background for a little bit, man. It took a minute. But anyways, yeah, we got a special guest, bro. We got a special guest. I already know you guys. You guys know the legend, the legendary Chad fucking Wesport is in the building for a second time. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. And that was a dope intro. That was pretty. That put me like in the mood. I'm nice and chill, man. Ready to hang out.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Psycho Chick, bro. She been cooking that up. Shout out to her.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was smooth. I like it.
Yeah.
But
Hell
thanks for
yeah,
having me, man. Thanks for having me. Round deuce.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got a bunch of questions, bunch more. All right, we're gonna get in depth with stuff, man. We're gonna,
Yeah.
So everybody, hold on, man. Get your pens and pencils out, bro. We about to be dropping some knowledge up in here. It's gonna be crazy. Oh yeah. So real quick, how you been, brother?
Good, man. Been doing really good. Staying busy as always, but that is fun for me. Just kind of planning out the summer. Looking forward to heading out to the DGC Cup, seeing some of these folks. I know we talked about MJ BizCon before. I think this year will be my first year to hit that. So got some travel coming up this year, looking at strains that I'm going to be running next, testing next, and potentially working with next. So yeah, man, always looking forward.
Hell yeah. What strains you gonna be working with? If you could let us know.
Yeah. So right now I'm testing, and there's about 6 other people testing. It's a Westport grape juice crossed with a blue cheese. The blue cheese. You didn't get that surprise face. Whenever I do that to myself, I'm always like, wrong button. No. Okay. The blue cheese though, it's so Westport grape juice. I reversed that and I put it onto the Royal Queen Seeds blue cheese. And I always say the Royal Queen Seeds part first because it's important to know, but also it should probably indicate to people who are like, man, I love the real blue cheese, that this probably isn't the real blue cheese that everybody hears about. But that isn't actually why I selected to work with this one. That's why I popped it. I popped it with a couple other companies, different cheese lines. I wanted something cheesy and funky. But what I found was the most minty, most menthol, most eucalyptus plant that I've ever had. So I'm like, okay, well, you stand out. It grew super vigorously and it had nice, strong branches. It flowered under 70 days, and the effects are it's my go-to daytime strain right now, that blue cheese. So I put that together with the Westport grape juice, getting tested right now. That'll probably be the next to get released. So far, so good. A couple people are in 3rd, 4th week of flower. I'm in 2nd week, and a couple other people are just about to flip. So that's where we stand right now. I always like to make sure you get past the 5th week of flower. Everything's pretty much cool. Then you start to get the profiles. It's done stretching. You know what the shape is going to be like. So that is coming up in the future for people. But since I've been testing seeds, testing my own work, doing my own things for the past couple of years, I haven't had the chance to run seeds from other breeders. And I've been collecting a lot of cool stuff from other breeders. So that's what I'm running right now. And there's things that I've had, on the waiting list for certain reasons. One thing again, so I'm kind of looking for tools right now. Everybody is probably familiar with Blueberry Muffin from Humboldt Seed Company. It's been around for at least 4 or 5 years. Great. People love that strain. The profile is pretty good. The one thing that just like struck me as insane the first time I heard about it was the flowering time. I know people who have won awards at contests and they're like, dude, 45, 50 days every time, done. Wow. That can be a great tool. And again, it's the Humboldt Seed Company did a fantastic job breeding it and selecting and locking those traits in. So it's a solid thing to kind of use as a tool. But if I could use that to maybe bring down flowering time on some of the hazes that I'm going to be working with, well, that would be cool. So I looked at that. And then the last one, I know because I'm getting long-winded here because I get excited about all of them. But the one probably most excited about, and you mentioned what's coming up, I popped some black lime, black lime number 2 Chimes Cherry Limeade F5 from Mean Gene, who is Freeborn Selections. He's the breeder's breeder, man. Everybody that I respect are all like, yeah, that dude knows, he puts in the work. So that's a very good strain from him. It never got released publicly. It's kind of one of those like very limited things. And I pulled a couple males from it. So
shit,
that's what I was looking for too. And I didn't have a bunch of seeds, but I'm like, I'd really love to get a male out of this because my buddy Dave's not here, who did Seed Collector Show with me. Again, huge collector, and he's popped a ton of that stuff. He says anything that Cherry Limeade touches is just magic. And that black lime is what spawned the Black Lime Reserve, which is now in so many other different crosses. So it's kind of like the beginning of all that stuff. And I pulled a couple males. So we'll see what happens, man. That's coming up in the future.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. No, I'm fucking excited about that, bro. When you release those, you let me know.
Of course.
Be first in line. I'll be first in line. I swear to God. Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get into these questions, man. I got a couple topics. It's pretty, other advanced stuff. I guess.
I've got my mini coffee cup, so we're okay. Everybody's like, damn, does Chad have really big hands? No, it's just a little cup, guys, but it's cool. You believe what you want.
Gigantic hands. I love it. Fuck it up. That threw me off.
This is a Sharpie.
Yeah, that threw me off. Oh my God. All right.
Can't take me anywhere.
How can breeders utilize genetic markers to identify and select for specific traits excuse me, sorry, in the cannabis plant, such as cannabinoid profiles or disease resistance?
Yep. So marker-assisted breeding is something that we as the layman people don't really have access to. But it's becoming more common. It's becoming more affordable. The genome of cannabis is becoming more mapped. And you mentioned like disease and pest resistance. Those are absolutely genes within the plant that can be turned on, can be turned off. You have to identify the different alleles and the loci, the locations, and the actual place of where these things are. But I do believe that they have found the PM resistant gene, or they've mapped at least a few of the alleles responsible for it. It kind of can be tricky because it could be like multiple things have to work in succession to get the joint effect. But yes, that is something that they're working on specifically for, again, disease resistance. It's like an easy example for people to understand is, like corn and Monsanto, Roundup ready stuff. So they're able to prep a plant in vivo with certain abilities to resist certain things. So yeah, we don't have access to it. The markers we have to use you did mention cannabinoid testing, which if you're in a, state as a just private citizen that can get cannabinoid and terpene testing, do it, because that's invaluable. And you'll be able to see just where your offspring lies. I at one point was working with the Harlequin, which is a CBD strain, and I made some offspring, but it kind of stopped there because I'm not able to test the progeny. So I don't know which ones are the like more CBD leaners, because that's what I would have wanted to select. So the markers we breed, or the markers we use to breed, are just our eyes and experience, and hopefully a journal, because that'll help. It's better than the brain.
Yeah. The reason I bring it up is because there's like companies like Farmer Freeman, there's a couple other ones, but like Farmer Freeman's like one of the well-known ones in my mind. They just released well, it wasn't just, I think it was like a while ago, but they have the Easy XYZ fucking chromosome test kit, right? And the whole idea is that you can start mapping these out, right? And it's like a mass test, literally MAS. You can start speeding up the process, right? Because not only will you be able to identify male versus female with like the test kits and everything, but you'll be able to start like finding on the like the board, right, which genomes and shit that you are actually looking for. So you can start being like, okay, it's this plant that I want to breed with, and this plant, and so you can start really locking in certain traits and stuff. Do you feel like if that is more released, do you feel like that would be the better way of like breeding in your mind? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a good breeding tool, essentially. You know what I mean?
You
Like
nailed it there. Yeah. It's another tool. It's like,
yeah.
So sometimes, and those aren't, that's not going in and like gene editing. That's not genetically modifying a plant. That's just taking advantage of, kind of science and stuff that's there. So we shouldn't automatically like jump to be like, the new stuff and let's just be dinosaurs. It's like, no, guys, you progress along with it. So yeah, those tools will be handy. The XY, the chromosome, the sex testing. I know many people who have used it, and it's very reliable. Just like you said, if somebody's going for an all-female room, but they're running, 200 regular seeds, they're going to save so much time and money with that sex test, even if it is $10 a plant. Like, you just save so much money. You can reset. You can throw stuff in there. I haven't
no longer waiting to flip.
Yeah, cause dude, man hours, nutrients, all of the materials. Yeah. So it costs money to run something to be like, didn't need it. Could have found out 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't done it myself though, because I'm the person who will remain skeptical to the end. And even if I would get the test, I would still let them flower out to be like, yep, the test was right. So, it's like, what's the point of doing the test if I'm just going to do that anyways? But they are good.
Yeah. Okay. So you brought who was it? Humboldt into this. Like you mentioned them, and if I'm not mistaken, they were working on the whole polyploids, right?
Yeah.
All right.
The triploids or triploids.
Oh, is that
polyploids a little bit different. But yeah, the sterile ones.
All right. So polyploids. Well, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
So, what are the methods and the potential benefits of including polyploids in cannabis plants? Like, if we switch the cannabis plant over to start doing polyploids, would we start getting that enhanced traits like the vigor, the yield, the cannabinoid content? What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. Because I'm a little confused. I'd have to go to the Google machine and just get the definition again of polyploid, because some people confuse fasciation on plants where it gets like the thin ribbon and then the caterpillar buds. Some people confuse that for polyploids. But when it comes to genetics, diploid, haploid, and then this triploid is what I'm used to.
Yeah, the sets of chromosomes. Yep.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking
the
about.
Polyploid. I wonder if that's the magic one that you have to cross. Okay.
Okay, the polyploid is referring to cannabis plants having either the two sets of chromosomes, not either. It has the two sets of chromosomes, including, I have it right here just in case too, because I didn't want to bring up a question and not have an answer for it just in case. Sorry.
Oh, dude, No, I mean, a lot of these, again, notice all these words end in oid. Sometimes it's easy to confuse things when you have to like remember this once every couple months.
Bro,
But I can
100%.
answer your question though, but if you want to
No,
put that one out there.
no,
Um,
you answer it.
okay.
Answer it by all means. I'd
Okay.
rather have your explanation. Yes.
So yeah, they're working in a new direction, and they're expanding the chromosome count, their number of sets that they have, and then it's coming back reduced in the effort to build something that's sterile. This is something that is absolutely a game changer for commercial cannabis production. Like, this is the goal. That's what they want. They want sterile stuff because they don't want a pollinated field, even if the neighbor's field, the neighbor's hemp field happens to dump pollen. They don't want their cannabis crop, acreage of cannabis crop seeded. So yeah, game changer. It's going to happen. And the genetic marker assisted breeding will lead to that, because yes, these are things that you can manipulate and kind of control in the lab and put that. I believe you can still work that into tissue culture. I'm not fully sure on that one, but I believe you can start there. So you'll get a fully clean, fully vigorous, like, as you said, just coming out of the gate strong type of plant. No disease, nothing in that. So good thing. Again, sure, why not? It's something you can do. It has the commercial application for me and for home, I guess. I could have summed this up much quicker. I'm sorry.
You're all good.
For me, it doesn't really matter. We kind of thought that when feminized seeds came out, it was the breeder world's attempt to, lock it down and not allow anybody to breed anymore because everything will be feminized. Well, we found our answer to that, and then autoflowers really kind of started coming, and we're like, well, you can't do anything with an autoflower, you can't clone it, so then we're always dependent upon having to buy seeds, and well, you can breed with that now too. So if they come out with this sterile thing, and then all of a sudden your favorite strains are all just like sterile, we'll find a way to freaking breed with it too. Well, there'll be something. Just give us time.
I love that you brought up the autoflowers because they've honestly changed a lot. Like nowadays,
Yeah.
like they are literally competing with the standard fucking photo period. You know what I mean? Back in the day, everybody like, no, don't grow that. You're gonna get nothing.
Man,
You're gonna get nothing.
it's like when my wife would like slide me the fake bacon and you don't know it and you're just enjoying breakfast and you're eating it. And then she's like, by the way, that was fake bacon. You're like,
Yeah, the
like,
fuck?
flour? Damn. All right. I forgot to hate it. Shoot.
Yeah. I love it. That's a perfect example. Fucking fake bacon. By the way, I'm dead. All right. So, how has the CRISPR-Cas9 technology been applied in the cannabis breeding and practices to modify genes associated with desirable traits, and what are the ethical considerations? And just so you guys know, the CRISPR-Cas9 is literally a gene editing tool.
Yep. So, as an example, again, something tangible that people can see. Everybody remembers apples. Like, if you would eat half of the apple, it would turn brown. And you're like, the exposed part to the air, it would turn brown. You're like, I don't want to eat that part. You cut it off and it was crispy. You go around it.
Mm.
They knew that. They edited a gene into apples that now, if you do that, notice that your apples don't turn brown anymore. They just kind of get a little shriveled and you're like, oh, it's like an apple chip. It's because we're so visual. But that's an easy example of how gene editing can work to solve weird little problems. And when it comes to cannabis, again, gene editing I think it's a good thing. It can be a great thing. If you could come out with a strain that is, like PM resistant, if you could come out with a strain that produces a particular cannabinoid profile, because those are the things that they're identifying. These are the markers. They're identifying the processes and the locations where cannabinoid synthesis turns on, terpene synthesis. So they're able to hone in and really kind of like custom tailor and build the perfect cannabis strain. Like, I personally don't have like a big push for that. I like selecting in nature's way, but we're just doing it at like snail speed while they're doing it at warp speed. We're both trying to get to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Ethically, though, there can be some shenanigans. So, what if when they build that, PM resistant strain, they make it Roundup ready and they cut that gene in too, because then they can spray the whole field for pests and the cannabis isn't affected. So that's where I think the ethical lines will get blurred, because big business with big business, and they're the ones with the money to do it first.
Yeah, honestly, that is shit. I never thought of that way. Damn it. Yeah. Blowing my mind, Chad.
Well, because I mean, again, like I said earlier, people are automatically usually like, F that, just because it's like some new science or new technology, because we know that it can be abused. That's our cynical, like, real world examples. That's why you can't have nice things. There's a lot of things. AI, perfect example. AI can be a wonderful thing in the wrong hands or the stupid hands. It can be a nightmare and just devastation. But it can also be really awesome. It all depends on how you use it, right?
Yeah. Goddamn.
Goddamn.
So talking more on like the what was it? The polyploids, diploids, all that. There is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Hiploid. It's the one set of chromosomes, right? What are the processes involved in developing one of those, or a double hiploid?
Ooh, that's that
Yeah.
haploid. Yep. The haploid,
yeah.
diploids, triploids. That one's above my pay grade. Like, I know where I would go to get the answers, and it probably would be referencing the Humboldt Seed Company and the research and the work that they've done. But all of this stuff that we're doing in cannabis has already been done 100 times over in traditional agriculture, in nursery horticulture. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to this particular process. So there is information, but I do not know. I do not know, sir.
Oh yeah, Pistol for president. All right, that's too easy because I don't know either.
Yeah, right.
All right. So how do specific genotypes interact with the environmental factors to influence their expressions of traits in the cannabis, and how can breeders optimize these traits? These inner, I said it.
How can you optimize them? You can optimize them by taking notes, by recording your conditions, by basically creating data. Because as you said, the genotype has all of the potential in it. There's a lot of light switches that can be turned on or off based off of environmental factors. That's kind of where the ecotype, that's where the, oh God, fancy word, come to me. It'll come back to me. Yeah, we'll just roll with the ecotype here. No, God dang it. Nah, it'll come back to me. Anyways, so environmental factors, epigenetics. Boom, that's the fancy word.
There it is.
Epigenetics.
There it is.
Yeah, the fancy word came. But that's how those outside factors influence a lot of gene expression, and some things can be turned on and turned off. So that's why there's so much argument in the cannabis industry over some strains like OGs, because a lot of people are like, I came from Florida, but then it came out to the West Coast, and because of the environment, it changed the expression. Nothing changed about the plant, same cut, but different light switches were turned on and off based off of the environmental factors, the ecotype that was out here. So it can happen, and it can make a difference. Did I answer that?
Yes.
Okay, good. I kind of got sidetracked halfway there.
No, you're good. You're good. That was a great answer. That was literally perfect. So secondary metabolite pathways. What strategies are being enveloped and manipulated? Holy shit, big words again, and like It's not even that words that are getting me. It's this one. But bios. I wrote these down too. That's the worst part about it. Like I really gotta stop fucking smoking, bro. Like I'll sit here, type up all of these questions like an hour before the show. Sit here. I ask her. I ask a bunch of other people. Hey, does this sound like a good question to you? Read this real quick. Does it sound right? Right. Then I get to the show. What the fuck did I write?
At least you remember to get to them, dude. I do those, and then I'm like, oh, damn, I had questions.
Shit. Damn it. All right. Biosynthetic pathways in cannabis to enhance or diversitize the production of secondary metabolites like terpenes and flavonoids. Holy fuck,
Yep.
I had to get that out. Yeah.
Dude, those are triple word score words right there. You kill it at Scrabble on those, dude. Like there used to be a weed Scrabble tour because we would kill it with triple word scores.
Dude,
all you need is like you get NOID in your little bin, and you're like, bro, I've got all the potentials in the world.
But, love it.
Secondary metabolites. You mentioned terpenes, flavonoids, cannabinoids. These are all secondary metabolites of the cannabis plant. So, yes, there are genes, there are pathways that will, turn things on and turn them off. Those are the ones they've discovered. Of course, they were after those pathways kind of first when it came to mapping and understanding and gene editing on a plant. So, they are identified. Probably not 100%, again, because there could be multiple things in conjunction with it, but they are able to block like THC production in certain plants, or they are able to block CBD production in certain plants. So they're getting good with it. I forget the rest of the question because yes, they do have that. Is it a good thing? Oh, how do we do it? How do we control it? Again, a lot of these things we can't see. We're not able to look inside the plant to do that. But if you were able to get analytics, you can see what the cannabinoids and the terpenes come out as. You can also sometimes, if you've grown a strain a number of times and you have relatively similar conditions, sometimes I've had it where, dude, it's frostier than a previous run. Maybe that is something that you can like visualize as far as more secondary metabolites being produced, because those secondary metabolites are primarily stored in the trichome heads. And for me, I try to kind of boost secondary metabolites. And this is something, again, you'll see in the produce world. Peppers is a good example because it's the oil of the pepper that we're after, right? It's not necessarily the flesh, it's the oil it produces. Yep. And they do drought stress before harvest. That's something that cannabis has played around with. That's something that's been studied, it's been looked at, and it has been shown to increase certain secondary metabolites by doing drought stress before harvest. So that's a way that I do it without actually having cool, fancy tools to look inside the genome or the genetics of the plant itself.
Oh yeah. Okay. That goes back into like the light schedule and everything too, like leaving your lights on 24 hours for the harvest or some shit like that. Like people turn their lights on and off, to try to get that more terpene. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because that one has been like so debated for as long as I've been growing. I've seen it like absolutely be this way, like different ways. Probably we're on like the fourth iteration of how it has to absolutely be. And we still don't really know yet. I think we're getting closer. There is a very, very intelligent person that works for multi-million-dollar companies. Trying to get the answer from because he tipped me off to something. But yeah, there's light before harvest.
Scoop. I'm sorry, I didn't even cut you off.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm trying to do it. We're both like super busy, but I want to understand too, because a lot of people. So when I first, it absolutely has to be this way. It was the 48 hours of darkness before harvest. And some of the reasoning people are like, terpene preservation. I come back, I'm like, dude, if you're only worried about terpenes in the last 2 days, then you're not worried at the right time. So that one kind of goes out the window. People who are against it are like, well, 48 hours of darkness, my humidity always rises, it always gets really cold, and if I have super fat colas sitting in a dark, dank room for 2 days, I'm worried about PM.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those situations, well, that situation, we're kind of talking about like biomass. We're really worried about the flower. And the thing that I heard from this person that has like totally sparked my give me the paper, has to do with the trichome head and how it responds to darkness versus light, and the production of cannabinoids and gosh, like the inflation. I don't know the better stuff, man. That's why I need to talk to him. But he hinted at light is better than darkness. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out in that one. So yeah, because I don't have a. There's been so many has to be this ways that. Well, dude, I'm waiting on the paper.
I'm dead. Kind of like this. The key to a random hole. I mean, you both, yeah.
We've all been there with a fucking set of keys. Be like, nope,
Nope.
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 I tried them all, didn't I? Oh, back to the first one. Nope.
I'm dead. All right. So, how can breeders manage inbreeding depression in cannabis populations, and what approaches are effective in creating hybrids that exhibit? I can never fucking pronounce.
Heterosis.
Heterosis. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, the hybrid vigor.
Bam, you nailed it. Hybrid vigor. How can we avoid inbreeding depression? Give up your fucking cookies, people. Like, no. Inbreeding depression happens because you get things that are too close on the genetic scale, and then you put them together, and there's just that loss of vigor. That is the inbred depression. And knowing the lineage of what you're working with is super important for that reason, especially the day and age we're at right now, because there's, again, cookies is a great example. Burner, baby. But it's in so many different things that now it can be like 3 generations removed. But, if you have something where it's like 3 generations removed and you're like, oh, I've got thin mints and I'm going to put them together, that can lead to a little bit of inbred depression. Inbred depression is just you're taking things that are too similar and putting them together. You want things from opposite ends of the spectrum. That's how you get the heterosis. That's how you get hybrid vigor. And that's one thing that I look for in my breeding projects. Like a lot of my base has started with old, I call them old world genetics now, but they're really like 90s, 2000s genetics from Amsterdam, things that were very solid. They weren't necessarily sexy by today's standards, but they were solid. They were reliable in their expressions. You knew what they did. You knew what they looked for. We've gotten, so far away from that stuff with a lot of the, the hype stuff of today, or the things that just kind of people demand, that if you like, most people are working with that stuff because they like it. It's good. That's how we all get into it. That's our jam. So if you take something like that, try putting that against something that's like older or something that's like very different. And that in the offspring is where you'll get the hybrid vigor. You'll get less inbreeding depression if you have 2 things on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You put them together and you get the hybrid vigor.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And so I know we talked a little bit on this earlier, but a little bit of tissue culture. What are the applications of tissue culture in cannabis breeding, and how can stomatical, fuck that word.
Stomatical? I have no idea.
Stomatical variations be both a tool and a challenge in developing new cultivars. Jesus Christ. That fucking words, man.
I don't know. You're extra achieving on the words today. Like, for real. There's 2. You cannot spell that with a can of alphabet soup. I'll just put it that way. But stigmata, that's another word. Okay, so tissue culture. it is becoming more practical for us to kind of experiment and do it at home. Like you could build a flow lab hood. A lot of people in the mushroom like world already know about this stuff. But it is becoming practical at home. Now, the thing that kind of separates the pros from, the hobbyists is like the agar, the nutrients that they use, that kind of clear liquid, and keeps things in suspended animation. You have to keep things super sterile. But what is it used for? It can be used for preserving lines. Like you can take just a small piece of the plant, you can put that into tissue culture, and then you can grow that out. And it may take it 6, 7, 8 months before you get something like this big. That is an awesome way to keep a library, because if you were trying to keep a mother plant like that, dude, you have to do so much work to it. It takes up so much space. So on a commercial larger level, yeah, tissue culture is fantastic, because you could have a library of 1,000 plants. You could take something out of tissue culture and be like, okay, we're running these 20 right now because that's what, the market demands, or, yeah, commercial people are really the only ones doing it. So I'll leave it in that context. But they're also, so they're able to keep a huge library. They're also able to clean pathogens out of it. And the way that they're doing this is some of these, again, we're talking about like super small, like molecular science. Ooh, I said that word. I always say that word. Hey,
Molecular, yeah.
I know, molecular. Oh, I'm on a roll. But it's super, super, super small stuff. And sometimes the pathogen hop latent viroid is probably one that everybody's familiar with. The rate that the cells grow can outpace the spread of the pathogen. And because it's so like molecular level, they can like shave off just that tip of that emerging root. And then they could try to use that. And then that now has kind of outpaced the, the pathogen. And if you do that a number of times, you can start to get something that tests absolutely pathogen free, that brings back the vigor, that makes it, again, commercially viable. So you can clean up things there as well. That's another huge reason for it, because a lot of the big strains and a lot of the people that have been running them for years and dependent on them, they all have hop latent viroid. So if they don't clean it up, they got to figure out something else. Where there's a will, there's a way. Damn it, that's cannabis people. We'll figure it out. Give us a new problem, we'll figure it out.
100%. No, I love it. Like, what is it? Pothead ingenuity. We'll figure out anything.
Yeah. I can build a bong out of like 20 things in here right now.
I love it. Yeah, no, they definitely. I wish that it was a little bit cheaper. I know there's a bunch of different ways you can do it at home, like you were mentioning, and you could definitely get the agar and everything else. But I just wish it was a little bit cheaper and a sustainable practice. I know. Who is it? Athena came out with a tissue culture kit, and man, it is fancy, but I just don't have the money for it. It is too expensive for me. I would love to have something like that, but the price is wrong for me.
Three or 4 more years, that's going to be like totally affordable. And that's the rapid pace that we're going. Again, these things like the CRISPR, the genetic mapping, the markers, tissue culture, these were all like multi-million-dollar processes and tools and equipment and, technology 10, 20 years ago. Now we got freaking weed companies doing it. Sure, they've got money, but they're not, the top tier of the scientific agricultural world either. So things get cheaper over time because there's more of a demand. And again, that ingenuity, we figure out better processes to do these things. So it'll get there. But I do, I wish I had the time and a little more space to start learning it and just doing it and making the mistakes now. Because again, it's getting in at kind of like a ground floor for like the cannabis world. And if someone were to figure this out and do well with it, you can have a bright future doing other things. So yeah, not a bad time to get started if you're curious.
100%. Like the public's perception and like the whole stigma against it, like Literally, I have like check it out. Okay,
I
so
love it.
public
I love
opinion
it.
on cannabis is shifting with the increased acceptance and use. In 1992, fewer than 1 million Americans used marijuana daily. By 2022, that number had risen to 17.7 million. Surprisingly, daily alcohol use for the first time has changed. This reflects the whole like it's changing.
Good.
We're slowly like showing everybody this is the way. Like 100%.
Yeah. I like that. I believe it. I like it. And I think people too now, I mean, especially compared to, I'm an old dude. I remember when it was way illegal. I remember when even if you were a stoner, you would never admit it because you think the feds would come like knock down your door. So there were a lot of people who were consuming or were just, like closet smokers that would never admit to it. So hopefully now people are just like, you know what? There's a weed shop like down the street. I should probably be like, yeah, I had a toke like within the last 30 days. Check my box, sir.
Too easy. Or like just at the end of the day, instead of reaching for some alcohol,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna make
yeah.
you probably do something you're gonna regret. Just smoke a bowl, right? Roll up a little doob.
Oh yeah, this world needs a big fat joint, man. That's all I gotta say.
I got yeah. What is it? I got another one. Oh, okay. So as cannabis becomes more mainstream, there is a growing need for public education and a responsible consumption, potential health risks and benefits from various cannabinoids. Effects, no shit. Effective education campaigns can help. Um, can help. Fuck.
Yeah.
What is your thought? Do you think we should start doing more like public campaigns and stuff, like really reaching out to most of the community, saying like, "Hey, again, what we were just talking about, like, stop
We we
drinking, smoke this."
we need to quit lying, and that's on both sides.
Hell yeah.
The old guard needs to quit lying about it's gonna, the teens are gonna start like killing everyone, and I forgot to rape and rob somebody today before I smoked my weed. Sorry, but that's what the old guard still do. There really are. I come across them in this town more frequently than I would imagine. People who are just very openly about being ignorant when it comes to cannabis and what it can actually do and some of its potential. So those people need to stop lying.
Yeah.
The freaking Chads of the world, myself excluded, need to quit lying about this being a like miracle solve all economic windfall, like
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
environmentally friendly thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
cannabis isn't for everybody. It's for more people than that know it currently. So we do need to educate people, but we need to stop with the lies. Now let's just say the lies don't stop either way, because these people they're entrenched reefer madness. These people have money to make, so they're going to keep telling you how freaking spectacular their booth is. That's just going to keep happening. So from our side, yeah, dude, we need to normalize it. Shows like this where you can have a conversation where people can see two, relatively passionate and intelligent people can have a conversation. You need to relate it in terms like, again, I always relate things back to produce and agriculture just because that's where I learned a lot of this knowledge. But people connect with that because they go to the grocery store. Again, it's very visual. People are so visual, but we do. We need to start educating people to break the stigma, show people we're not, the stupid stoner, but also study this plant, because there is going to be a ton more of good things about this plant that we don't know. There's probably going to be some bad things about this plant that we don't know. An example is the early days of dabbing. It was all about red hot, super high. Who can take the hottest freaking dab? We now know that
Chloe.
terpenes. Yeah, exactly. And we now know that terpenes, again, terpenes are found in cannabis, but they're also found in other things in nature, like limonene. Um, Limonene at a particular temperature becomes toxic. So we probably shouldn't have been dabbing that hot. So we will learn things that are like, ooh, maybe
That burn
not
back in your
about
throat.
this
Maybe it
plant.
wasn't a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Coughing for 3 minutes until snot bubbles are like coming out. Like, cough till you get off. But bro, there's a line. Like, don't do it. So yeah, because if we study it, then we could be real with people. We can say, okay, look, guys, it really does kill this kind of cancer. It really does. You can't deny it. So fucking shut up and ingest. Yeah.
I love it. Great show. Oh,
Thank
hell yeah, bro.
yous.
Yeah, bro. It's the legend. It's the legend. Y'all
Okay.
know who it is. Um, where is it? So the adoptions of technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain is posing a revolutionizing cannabis cultivation and distribution. These tools can enhance the supply chain transparency, optimizing growth conditions, and ensuring product on authenticity. Holy fuck! Today I am terrible. Like, holy shit. God, that the reason I'm bringing this up is because like there's the whole thing about cryptocurrency and weed going to being passed, and yeah, I'm not trying to get too far into that, but what is your ideas with using cryptocurrency as our banking system for the whole cannabis market?
Right. I am the wrong demographic to ask. I stopped technology at the original Nintendo. So I barely even got into Super Mario 3, which was probably out before many of these people were born. But yeah, cryptocurrency and blockchain, it's an untraceable, anonymous, established way to move money around the world. There's always going to be a place for that, and there will always be a use for that. Um, how that's going to play in my personal life, I don't think it's going to play a big role, but that's all by personal choice too. Again, because it's something that I don't really fully understand, and I have my questions. But there's a lot of people who are very into it and certainly know more about it than me. So I'll keep carrying around my coins and count out exact change at the counter. But AI and cannabis, like, as far as teaching people to grow, it's going to be kind of shit right now because there's so much bad information on the internet. Its data pool is severely flawed, so it's not going to it'll give decent information, but it's going to miss so many important things and be wrong on things. So teaching us how to grow, not so great. Commercial applications, big ag, dude, they've already figured this out. Like, you can, from a satellite or from a drone, you can fly over the crop. You can tell which plants are deficient in which nutrients, which minerals. It works off of like heat signatures and also light, the way the light bounces back.
They're
But
getting real advanced.
yeah, to drive that one home, how AI can, because again, if they could do it with regular produce, they could do it with cannabis too. Same difference. But
Yeah.
dude, they have little lasers that will zap moss out of the air. Like if there's anything like flying around in your greenhouse in the crop, this little laser will just, dude, like lasers, moth, greenhouse. It's the coolest stuff.
I would
There's
be in there
killers.
all day just watching, getting. I keep the doors wide open just to see.
Oh, it's cold, but yeah, it's, dude, their technology is crazy. Dutch greenhouse innovation. If you ever wanted to figure out how can we make it better, look at what they were doing at least 10 years ago,
At least 10 years ago, they've been doing
because
it.
it's still better. Yeah.
I love it. Oh yeah. So you don't feel like
Hey,
it could
big
be.
up,
Oh,
big up,
what's up,
Bugsy
man?
Gunshot Project.
You don't feel like it would be cool to go to like the fucking dispo and buy weed with crypto?
It would be, I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd probably be the same as using like my debit card, even though it's a cash only in Washington still, cash only. But I mean, because crypto, I mean, it's the
But
same
that's
theory
why
as my debit
cash
card. It's
only, you
all
know what I
just
mean? Because
money
they
in the
can't
air.
use the standard bank. That's the whole idea of why we're trying to switch to the crypto. Because say we do switch to crypto, we move
Okay.
it to crypto, and then we're actually able to use the money like you would standardly through a normal bank. Like you can reinvest that money like on paper instead of a cash only business, like most of the world's kind of doing. You know. Well,
Here's
most of
can
it.
I
Yeah.
I'll poo poo on my crypto here real quick. So 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, crypto was unhackable. It was impenetrable. It was the fortress for where to put your money. Well, we've already found out that these accounts can be hacked, they
Yeah.
can be seized, and banks can be emptied. So it's not as secure as we originally thought. Now, the crypto and the blockchain, how that all works, negates quantum computing. We are this close to quantum computing. Once quantum computers becomes more accessible, cryptocurrency is going to look like a freaking one number padlock. So your time is
Right.
limited, bro. Your time is limited.
I'll give
Where's
you
all your
that.
money gonna be? What if the whole world's like money is in this thing, and then that 16-year-old at freaking in the middle of like Iowa figures it out? He's like, oh, semicolon, beak.
Fucked. We're all fucked.
Right.
Oh man, I love it. Countries like Germany have recently removed cannabis from their narcotic list, becoming the largest federally legal cannabis market. This shifts open new avenues for international trade and collaboration, presenting significant growth opportunities and, well, shit, just for the cannabis business in general. What is your
Dude,
thoughts on that one?
dude, my thought on that one. I've not shown this to anybody yet. We're a premiere exclusive.
Premier
But
exclusive, y'all. Y'all
so
get
I'm
close.
I'm
Get
into
the camera.
Germany becoming legal. I'm into Germany becoming legal because they do. It's awesome to watch. Oh, thank you. It's awesome because they have a burgeoning community. People that are very excited about growing, about sharing, about networking, about communicating. Like, it's really cool time over there. And I have a lot of people reaching out to me from Germany. I'm actually going to start be doing German videos, specifically in the German language video.
Oh yeah.
So that's cool. But the reason why I brought this over here is not because I'm going on a vacation to Germany anytime soon. I mean, I could. I just take my suitcase and move around here. But a company from Germany reached out to me and was like, you know what? We got this crazy thing. We got this crazy idea. We want you to try this for us. So let me introduce you to the grow room.
What?
Yep, it's got a
Bro.
carbon filter, exhaust fan. It's got an internal fan. It's got an LED light. If I lift it up, it's got a scrognet. It's got 2 pots in the bottom. Bro, I'm about to be growing some autos in here.
Hold on. I gotta find
They shipped this to me from Germany. They're like, we want you to do a video. We want you to make a series for us. Would you be interested? I'm like, well, that's gonna be freaking fun. Now,
I gotta find my credit card.
I know. So Bonsanto, Bonsanto. Yes, I'll plug them here.
Let's go.
But again, guys, it's just your regular padlock. It's your freaking suitcase. You just take this and put it anywhere. The cords come out at the bottom. But for people, back in the day, again, when it's still illegal or you have to be discreet, that micro grows. Look up micro grows. They're fun. People are so innovative. For us here in the States, I'm surrounded by tents. People who take clones, we all know one of the biggest problems with taking clones is you can bring pests in very easily. So we all talk about quarantine, right? We're all like, you got to quarantine. Not many people do. But if I have that I can easily quarantine my clones. I could put that anywhere in my house. The fucker even has wheels. I can roll it there, plug it into the wall, and there's my quarantine for my clones. Like, end the problem, man. Poo poo.
I'm definitely getting me one. That was cool as shit. Got the little
On
light, the little
Santa.
scrog net, mini everything. I love it, dude. That's cool as shit. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Bonsanto Bonsanto, which is kind of unfortunate. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Dang, I wish I had some literature from them around, but
Oh shit. You ain't
I
got a
don't have it
pamphlet?
sitting here. I do. Oh, I got all their literature, man. Because I'm going to be making a video series. I'm going to be doing a video grow in there. They sent me some autoflower beans. I'm going to be doing a grow in it. You know, they're like, "Would you?" I'm like, "All right, send me one. That sounds fun. That's a challenge." And again, like, there we go. Yep, exactly. That's it. And again, like, I found the practical application here. Like, again, I have grow tent, so I don't need to be as discreet as this. But for people that do, for people especially, again, this is a German company, so there's countries right around there where you can still get severely punished for growing. But this is so indiscreet, man. It could just be sitting in a corner. It could be sitting in a closet. People can walk by the window. They're not going to notice. But again, for me here with the grow tent, we all need a quarantine area. Yeah, we all need a quarantine area.
How loud is those fans? That's cool though. It's quiet.
Yep, they're not too loud. They're almost, well, they essentially are like computer fans. So okay. It's not like your inline fan where it's just whoa when you turn it up too much. It does put a little bit of noise, but if you had something like, you know, those like babbling brook machines or the little waterfall thing next to it or in the same room, you're fine. You're good.
I gotta get me one of those. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that. That was cool. A little oh man, I would bring my grow with me everywhere. That is going to be my continuous grow. no longer intense. I'm going to bring suitcases everywhere.
I kind of almost want to just like once I get them flowered, just like leave the house with the suitcase and just go a bunch of places and then just like being like a crab behind me and you just like open the case, take your picture, close the case, go to your next spot, take some more. Police station, you're all walk down the street.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Where's the next one? Yeah, bro. That's the whole legalization and people like switching it and like I'm more or less happy about that because it leads us into more ingenuity of this like shit like that. Their schools will actually be able to fucking do research on it and shit. So we'll have more fucking white papers coming out. Like there'll be more tests. There'll be more understanding in general. Like I love that science.
Yeah, the legalization is good all around, man. If they go from if they reschedule it or they deschedule it, I want descheduling here in the US, but even if they reschedule it, colleges will be allowed to at least look at it and study it. They can't right now because it's a class 1 and they're federally funded. So that right there has held us back in research. But Germany, you know, they went legal. They're pretty open to studying things. Again, if it's good for the people, they want to know that it's good for the people. If it's going to be bad, they know it's bad. So they're looking at it. There's other places that are looking at it too. But I think the legalization there and around the world is awesome. Again, it gives us more people to connect with, like more, the community is growing. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, man. The community is growing because we all love the same plant. And that one plant connects us. I have a person that I actually need to get back to in my emails from Italy. He just reached out. He says, "Hi, you know, this is my name. I am a new grower. I have some questions. Would you help?" Sure. I just met someone from freaking Italy, right? That's awesome, dude. If I ever go to Italy, I'm like, "Where you live, bro? You got the good stuff?" I know you do because I coached you. Yes.
Let's go. Love it. Nah, the only thing I will say is that it is creating a fluctuation in like the pricing and everything, because then you have like these big companies who are just sitting here just like saturating the shit out of the market. Like I have this article here. It says the cannabis industry has experienced a significant fluctuations, with some markets facing oversaturating, leading in the decline of pricing and revenue. For instance, Colorado, their cannabis sales peaked at 2.2 billion in 2022, but dropped to 1.5 billion in the subsequent the next years. Fucking hate that word. Impacting tax revenue and leading to a shit ton of loss of jobs. I know a shit ton of companies that have recently just went under because they can't afford it anymore, because what you're growing isn't worth anything anymore.
It's true. Saturation is hard, and there's companies that are fairly well funded that they would rather lose money on a pound but still get something for it than just eat it. And so people are going to be paying that, super low price to swoop that up versus somebody who's like, I have to make this much per pound or I'm going out of business. It kind of sucks. The rules are set up against the small players because there is no interstate commerce. That's one of the big problems with California. California produces a whole lot of cannabis, but if you're only just able to sell within that one market, it's too much. So that's a problem. Descheduling, again, I hope we get rid of some of those stupid, silly rules. But there's a lot of people that follow the Amazon model, which is I can lose money longer than you can stay in business. Whether it's 3 years, 4 years, you're going to go broke. I'll take your market share and then I'll make my money back because I have that much money to lose to get back in the long run. And some of those people are starting to get eaten up by this too, because every year there's a bigger fish. As we get closer and closer to legalization, there's bigger fish that come along until one day that fish is big enough to be in the lobbyist's ear to get it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To get it freaking legalized. And they're like, oh, geez, look, we have all these cool fields already. Yeah. Sure.
That they took from everybody else.
Yeah. Pennies on the dollar, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, if you freaking legalized it and allowed anybody to have a business, then the market would decide, and I could grow my 50 plants and do just fine. I can never compete on price. I can never compete on quantity, but I will beat the shit out of you with quality, and that's why people will keep me in business. But I can't do that because it's a pay-to-play, big boys only type of game right now. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, that's about all the questions I have. Chat, if you have any questions, real quick, this is your chance. You ask the legend something. Oh, here we go.
Shoot, blue nose grows. It all depends on how narrowly you want to look at things, because yes, there is a general guideline for VPD of where all plants will perform to a certain level, but there are some outliers that may like it a little bit lower because maybe they want to drink more, or maybe there's some that like it a little bit higher, but it's not going to be drastically outside of that normal range. So yes, you can typically, and it's kind of like feeding too. We all know that different strains, you can specifically tailor the nutrients to them. And sometimes that just means like 4 milliliters less per gallon of nitrogen or something. But even if you gave it that extra, you can keep everything in the plant happy, or everything in the tent happy. So yeah, general range, and that applies to VPD too. You can generally apply it, or really specifically dialing it if you have control over the parameters very tightly. Yeah.
Was that like your tolerance range and your fucking peak range? Your tolerance range is quite wide because the plant is a very fucking hardy plant. Like it will stand some ass whoopings, right?
Yeah.
But
like I can
optimal
range
run a mile. Or some shit is like a small range.
Yeah, exactly. I can run a mile in 80-degree weather, but I will get there a lot faster if it was 65 degrees.
Yeah. I was sweating the whole time. Oh, fuck, I'm done. Fucking
Exactly.
done.
Um,
I just felt it's plant specific because of.
I mean, you're not wrong. It definitely can be plant specific. And, Colorado is going to have a different VPD than me here in Washington. That's going to be a different VPD in Florida for probably the same plants because we deal with different things. Like I'm constantly trying to dehumidify, whereas Colorado is constantly trying to humidify. So even if we hit like the same range, when we get out of that optimal, I'm probably going to be a little higher. They're going to be a little bit lower. So that may be a little bit more plant specific. I don't know. You are right. Again, plant specifics, yes, but how thinly are we slicing the onion? Yep.
But the S1, are you crossing?
S1. So S1 is selfed one. So you're taking a plant, you're reversing it onto itself. Now, typically when I do that, like my reversing is they'll be separate plants. I'll reverse one plant, pollinates a clone of itself. So still the same plant, but they're actually physically two different or multiple different plants. If you then take that offspring, if you then take the S1 and then you self it again, this is where you can start to lead to some inbreeding depression. That's why you don't see a lot of selfed lines go to like S4, S5, because you quickly hit the inbreeding depression because it's identical, really, of what you're working with. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually S1, maybe S2s, but people don't go there.
Yeah, really, you only from what I've gathered, you only really self your stuff after you've found your F6 or something, and then you'll hit a self on it to make some more beans or something. But otherwise,
ideally.
Ideally.
Because by the F6, when you plant, if you plant 100 seeds, you should be getting over 90 of them identical.
100%.
And that's
not 100%, 99%.
Which way do we go? Left, right?
Right.
Wait, what?
No.
Left, right?
Right.
No, left. No. Yeah. You get there. That's fucking me. Totally. Yeah. Dude, now that one distracted me because how many times have you done that in a car? Left, right. Right? No, left. Fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Son of a Roger. See? Roger. Yeah. That's where that one comes in.
Roger Dodger.
What's your clearance? Clarence? Totally. Give me your Victor Vector. Roger.
Oh, fuck. Spaceballs. Chad, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Good question.
And my favorite answer is in a new house.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that, man. I'd love to move to Astoria, home of the Goonies. Holler, your housing market's too high. Yeah, good question, man. Hopefully doing the same thing. Just being blessed to have the ability to just kind of get by working with cannabis. I do a lot of writing for companies. That's kind of what pays the bills for me. I've got YouTube. It's not monetized, but it creates other opportunities for me. Doing the same thing, man. Like I would love in a new house. I would love in Astoria, overlooking the fucking bridge. Like that would be a dream. I like that answer. But I deeply believe in this plant. It has made such an impact to my life. It has improved my quality of life. It has improved the people in my life, and it's helped me appreciate life more. And that, dude, if you're able to do that, stick with it. So hopefully that's what I'm doing.
Hell yeah. Question: what is more important, the temperature inside of the tent or the soil?
This is kind of like fuck, marry, kill, because it's not necessarily rooted in reason, because I mean, you want both to be good. You can't have like crappy soil that's compacted with no aeration that are choking out your roots, like it's heavy clay. So you can't have just junk soil, but you also can't really run your tent at 120 degrees. So it's
you can
hard to
try.
answer that question. But if I had to choose, again, F, Mary, kill, I would probably go for the better soil because I have seen some people, one of my testers just had a greenhouse and actually you can grow in 120 degrees. The no joke this summer was in over 120 degrees for 2 weeks. Solid. I
Nice.
expected it
How'd
to
that turn
die
out?
every day. Dude, it didn't skip a
Beautiful.
beat.
Yeah.
It turned out
Oh
just
yeah.
fine. Like you look like the kind of fun person that you're like, I'm not saying nothing. Let's see what happens. And you're just like waiting. You're just like, oh, he's about to, oh. You're just like waiting for it. And it never happened, dude. He kept sending me pictures. He kept sending me the temperature dial and the humidity. And I'm just like, how the F are those alive? I don't
I
know.
love it.
Eat my popcorn. So, yeah, good soil. They can take a little beating with temperatures. But again, ideally, yeah, both are in the right zone.
Oh yeah. From
Chunky.
my understanding, you can reach like what just happened, which you just experienced. You can get those really high temperatures. It's really about like your leaf surface temperature. As long as that's not reaching too fucking hot, you'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, this was
But
insanity.
yeah,
I'm like, what are you
fuck
doing? You
120
can't control it. Yeah, you can.
cooking. I love it.
There's no air conditioner outside, man.
Fucking love it. All right, question.
Ooh. A tough one because there's a few different ways to go with that. As far as I'm going to say, and a lot of people, this is one of those like acceptance speeches where you're like, I don't want to start because I'm going to forget somebody's name or I'm going to leave somebody out. But two names that just kind of jump to mind for kind of like the old school, Mila Jansen, the hash queen. She is an amazing person. She has an amazing story. Her book is fantastic. She is really the undisputed hash queen, and her travels, her life is just amazing. And she is an awesome person. Like when I go to Amsterdam each year, for the last 3 years, I've had, fortunes to meet up with her. I've had the chance to go to the pollinator factory, which was kind of the first dry sift machine, and just hang out. She drops what she's doing to hang out for like 3 or 4 hours and just smoke and sit on the couch and tell stories and show me different things. And like my wife just loves Mila because Mila has done so much in a male dominated industry, in a male dominated world, that she's truly inspiring. So for my wife to get to talk to a strong female like that, is awesome. So that's someone who I absolutely look up to. And again, some people are like, well, you're really good for a girl. Dude, she's really good for a person. Like what she did is like blows anybody out of the water. So Mila Jansen for one. Today's person, though, I would probably say Mean Gene Jackson from Freeborn Selections. He's just, dude, he's been living the life of a Mendocino or, a Emerald Triangle breeder for decades. He was kind of born into it and has been doing it ever since. He's the most humble person about it. And he is just the most fantastic storyteller. So those are probably the two people top of my list there that I look up to in the canna community.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, sorry, I got my hair in my eye.
Keep on doing it. You're doing it the way it was intended to be. Yeah, I mean, really, I would love to grow outdoors. I don't have the proper climate for it. Be a good steward to your land. And that means, taking care of the soil, being careful of what you put into it, It also includes being careful about if you're using any pesticides, whether they're organic or synthetic. You want to understand how that's going to react with the bees. You want to understand how that's going to interact with pollinators, because if we do harm to them, if we do harm to them, then the rest of the ecosystem is going to suffer. So that is my biggest advice, is probably be a steward of the land and work to enhance the area, not just kind of take from it or use it. Like, leave it better than when you got there for ideally the next generation, right?
100%. 100%. Leave it better than you fucking found it. That's how everybody should like look at life. A lot of people are just
yeah.
We won't talk about that. Those people. We all know who we're talking about. Those people. The ones when you go to camping and there's a bunch of fucking food and trash literally at the campsite, just all over the ground and shit. Yeah, those are the people. Those are the fucking people I'm talking about.
It's like, you missed the assignment. No.
All right, Thaddeus,
Thelonious Monk. OGs, man. OGs are kind of a bitch to grow because most of them want to grow very tall. A lot of them will have longer internodal spacing, and sometimes that's manageable. But the thing that makes it a pain for me is those limbs are like spaghetti, man. You have to support like almost every branch if you're growing any kind of weight on them. So that's why I'm not growing any OGs. So yeah, that is one. Skittles, don't want to touch it. Again, that's just not fun to grow. And then
Skittles are Skittles.
Skittles. And by the way, if you have something that you bought as seeds that says Skittles or Skittles, 99% of the time you don't actually have what Skittles actually is. So because so many names have been so popularized and bastardized, like nobody knows what it is anymore, man. Except like the 10, 20 people who originally had it and then put it out. They're like, oh yeah, that's it.
That's the one.
So yeah. Like that's the one. We all know our own cooking though, right?
Fucking bright ass screen. God damn.
I was gonna say, dude. Damn. God. It's like Poltergeist over there.
Just switching to like put the questions away. I don't need them up anymore. We already got through them all. But yeah, man. I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll land this shindig. Sorry if you missed any questions. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Chad.
Thank you.
Thank you again, bro. We gotta pick your brain, drop some fucking knowledge, talk about a bunch of weird shit, you know? And it's just like, bro, honestly, I'll read a white paper or something and then be like, Chad will know. Circle.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good on you for reading the white papers. And dude, thanks for having me. Like it's been a fun conversation every time. Like I enjoy just the shenanigans we get into. And everybody in chat, like you guys contribute to shenanigans greatly. So shenanigan on.
Fucking shenanigans. I always think about, what is that, the Super Troopers? Anytime somebody says shenanigans, swear to God, the next person to say shenanigans, I'm going to pistol whip. Fucking
exactly.
Yeah. I love it. But thank you again, Chad. We'll definitely do it again, brother, because you are now, I'm going to have more questions because I'm going to read more white papers. So
good. All right, man. I will hop off here and let you wrap up the show. Again, thanks for having me, and everybody have a freaking fantastic night. Party on, Westport. I'm a gangster.
I love it, Chad. Peace out, brother. All right, y'all. Super fucking sick show. Got to pick Chad Westport's brain. Fucking chat, bro. You all, oh my God, amazing, sick. Couldn't do this without you guys. Yeah. Make sure to fucking like this, share this out, fucking subscribe. Bro, I'm this close. We're going to get monetized. We're going to make something happy. I'm going to make someone happy. Well, we're going to see how long that lasts before we can piss off YouTube and take it away. You know how it is. But anyways, that guy grows. He got a show going on right fucking soon. Shit. Let me. You know what? We're gonna pull it up real quick. We're gonna drop it in the chat. That's what we're gonna do. So y'all can go over there. Make sure not to miss it. Where that? Let me see. I'm new. I don't know what to do. Oh, there it is. Look, I'm finding it. Hey guys, fucking equipment. There it is. Look at that copy. Boom. There you go. Make sure to hit that link. Catch you all over at that, guys. But as always, friends, stay high.